we've got a massive amount of lag. But he does. 9. So Minty is pole at the moment. We've got Project 994 as RBZ joining from Tier 1 now. He's taking a break from Tier 1 because he can't make the races. He's now reserve in Tier 2 and will be racing today. He's just joined. Unfortunately could get it for quali. Just seen Project 994 there, unfortunately cutting turn 1. And I think he is, yes, therefore abandoning his lap. Matt Lovett, 86, is a new driver for this week. We have got quite a lot of driver changes actually, so I'll just go through them. He is a new driver and currently sitting in 3rd position and quite a long way off the pace, so we haven't had very many competitive laps set. And other driver changes to let you know about. Hickey, 96, also dropping down from Tier 1. He will still be racing in Tier 1, but it's just because he's been having a lot of connection problems. He also wanted to race in Tier 2. So yeah, that is the driver changes for this week. Kian Hunter back for a 2nd race, hoping to get some points this week after his problems last time out where he got disqualified. I did say that he disconnected, but actually it was a disqualification in the end for him. So he'll be looking to improve on that. But he did have good pace in that race considering how old his tyres were and how he was able to keep up with Gorsh Crab, who we know is a pretty quick driver in Tier 1. Not fighting at the front, but consistently getting points. One of 2 people to score points in every single round. Kian Hunter goes 3rd with a 108.3. I think there could be a wide range of times around here. It was pretty close in Spain, and Canada was a little bit further out. A bit more of a gap, but here so far it seems like we have a pretty massive gap in pace with Tiro Minty, 4 cents up on Calmundo, and then there's a 1 second gap to the next cars. So we'll have 11 people racing today. There are a few people missing from this week. Here is Project 994 after abandoning his first lap. Here he is on another lap. Let's see what he could do. He comes across the line and he puts it in 5th, ahead of Gorsh Crab. Matt Lovett down to 7th. Haven't seen a competitive lap yet from F1 Maestro, or no lap whatsoever from Zinka or Hickey, who you would expect to be quite high up. RBZ is asking in the chat, will he get a setup that he can't qualify? No, I think you'll end up with a default setup on that one, unfortunately. Because it will lock it in. It will be locked in unless part firmware is set to off, which I don't think it was. So here's F1 Maestro after abandoning his first attempt. Back out there now on an outlap. And here is Hickey actually on a time lap. Let's see what he could do. You'd expect him to be right up near the top, but we do know, of course, that Tiro Minty is a very, very fast driver. Former AOR F1 driver, so yeah, could be a pretty good tester to see how competitive our Tier 1 is. Hickey goes 6th, so that's not a good sign for Tier 1 so far. Obviously we do have F1 Maestro from Tier 1 and a whole host of other drivers now that have just gone up to Tier 1. But it is quite good to compare. I think the pace in this league is pretty strong actually for Tier 2. So here's Matt Lovett on an outlap, but F1 begun his lap, a very first sector, which is not great, but yeah, pretty average really. Would put him in about 5th, just based on that sector alone. let's see what he could do now. Second sector, pretty good. Again, pretty average. And he's going to cross the line now and do a 107.7, putting him 4th. So roundabout kind of where we expected. You will be probably hoping to go ahead of Kian Hunter at least there. Kian Hunter was quite quick last week, but for a Tier 1 driver, F1 Maestro will be looking to really be in that top 3. Lexbox 1 crosses the line, and I didn't see what time it was. It seems to be a bit glitched out, but he's gone 5th behind F1 Maestro. And Gastrin Zinka still yet to set a lap. Is he out on track at the moment? No, he isn't. But there is Tyrrell Minty coming through, but he's pitting. And yeah, he must have messed up his lap there, so he's coming back in now to have one more attempt. Camando going back out now, second place man at the moment. I think it'll be hard for him to beat that Minty time that was a long way clear of the rest of the field, but Camando is proving that he's the quite clearly the second fastest person around this track. Although F1 Maestro has just done a second lap on those tyres and managed to improve, so that is pretty impressive. If that's his fastest lap, he might struggle for wear in the race if he's done 2 laps on them. But he's done a second lap after it, and now he's going around with no fuel. That's going to be really hard for him on those tyres. I don't think that was a good decision. And people wondering what I'm using to live stream. I'm using just the Xbox One, just the Xbox app. Okay, so I've just been informed by my party member Luke that Gastrin Zinka can't record. We've brought in recording for this race because you can get away with quite big cuts and stuff at Turbo 1, so people will be recording. Gastrin Zinka has let us know that he can only record 30 seconds, so I'll have to watch his complete lap. I'll try and judge when he's out there. Here comes Gorsh Crab through the final corner. Not particularly great lap. He's going to stay 8th with a 108.8. Matt Lover in 9th on debut. With Tyrrell Mincy already back out on track. That's a pretty quick turnaround. He's still got 7 minutes left in the session. And I'm running the medium bit rate. The medium setting. My recommendation's just above that for the streaming. Senna's just gone out on track, so I will have to be looking out for that. But at the moment we're watching Project 994. It's ran a little bit wide there. It's not going to be a great lap, and I believe that that line would be suggesting he is coming into the pits. Indeed he is. Is Gorsh Crab trying to do a second lap? And he's stopped out on track at the final corner, which is a bit interesting. Now here is Zinka. He's still got a pretty long way to go, so we'll go on board with Minty at the moment to try and see what he can do. Can he improve his time? Pretty hard for him to do that. Was a pretty good time before, but that second sector is 0.2 up on previously. 30.5. Can he finish it off in the final sector and make further improvements to surely bag pole? It looks pretty good through there, and it is a 1 minute 6.858, which is indeed faster. Moves in half a second, almost exactly clear of Camando, who is now starting his lap, but I have to go on board with Gastrin Zinka out to watch this lap as he just begins it. Should be quite interesting to see where he goes anyway. He's been on the podium both times in game, and he's lost it at the first corner. He spun it at the first corner, so we don't need to watch that anymore. It's a shame for him. But he's been on the podium both races so far, but we've had like penalty removals and penalties put on, which has unfortunately dropped down to 4th both times. Kamado now on a lap, but it is a very slow first sector, so not going to be challenging anyone. F1 Maestro. Now, he'll be begging that he can improve, surely, because 2 lap old tyres, 2 flying laps on 1 set of tyres, he'll be looking to improve. He has just completed a lap, I think. I'm not sure. He said it was an out lap. Oh, no, actually, sorry. Yeah. It is right when it says it's an out lap. First sector is a 16.3. That's pretty much exactly the same as what he did before. When we were watching him, he did improve slightly into the 16.2s, high 16.2s, but he's in a 16.3 again there. Slight bit of a lock up there, and he's run it deep, and he too has a half spin, not a full spin. And he is retired, so he's done. He's going to be having to start on old tyres. Ooh, that could be nasty for him. And Tyrrell Minty has retired from surely what will be pole position now. Really don't think that he is going to be beaten or be on board now with Lexbox 1. See what he can do. As Kian Hunter retires from 4th place on the grid. Lexbox 1 a good 6/10 off him, but and he will continue to be. Seems to have he's retired from the session. Obviously that wasn't a good lap for him, so he's called it a day there. He will be 4th on the grid at best. Project 994 actually putting in some decent sector time so far. Every time I've watched him, he's been around that first sector, similar to Maestro. But I don't think he just seems to be able to quite put that whole lap together to be able to put him into that top 3 or thereabouts. Currently sitting 6th, not too bad. Let's see what he could do here with 3 minutes remaining on the clock now. Coming to the end of the second sector, it's a 31.3, which is, yeah, pretty much off the pace. He's going to struggle to improve really here from 6th. He's run it a little bit wide there, slightly off the track, but didn't gain anything. In the final corner, he's gone miles off the track. And he goes 6th, so he stays 6th with that. We have Hickey on a very slow outlap at the moment. Go. Shows you camera, you can't actually look round, but doesn't look like he's going to be in anyone's way. Gorsh Crab coming out for final attempt. He'll be looking to improve from 8th. And Matt Lovett still in 9th. He is currently also on an outlap. So we've got these 3 cars now just on an outlap, ready to finish off their sessions right at the end. Yeah, got Project 994 here, who I think is doing an in-lap, but I'm not sure why. Could be a slow lap, possibly. Building up to another quick one, but that would be very bad on the tyres to do. An outlap, a flyer, cool down lap, and then a flat out lap. Could be very hard on the tyres. I guess he doesn't have to do an in-lap because he can retire after that. But I don't even know, was that? It might have actually been a flying lap, but that first sector was a long way off the pace. He's doing another one, so I'm not sure what he's really going for here. This is his fastest lap on this set of tyres, and he's doing what seems to be like a reasonably slow lap, and then starting a 3rd flyer, but now seems to be retiring, so I'm not really sure what he was really doing there. It's an interesting technique. Let's see where Hickey can go. No offense to Gorsh Crab and Matt Lovett, but I don't think they're going to be challenging very high. Whereas Hickey could be. Those set times aren't great. But we do know Hickey is a proven quick driver in Tier 1. Where can he put it? I think he's going to stay 7th there. No, he goes 6th, so he goes ahead of Project 994. Very slightly, less than a 10th. And Gestrin Zinker, completely forgot about him. I don't think he's actually been able to set a lap. So he is going to be starting from the back, along with RBZ, who will be on a default setup. But he is a very quick driver, so look out for him charging through the pack. And I actually forgot to mention, as well as I get kicked out of the garage, but I forgot to mention that Cyril Rosberg is not able to make it today, who's obviously one of the quicker drivers. He'll be racing in Tier 1 hopefully tonight. He said that he might struggle to make it, but if he does, that would be good to see him in Tier 1. Comparison between Tier 1. Minty is on pole by half a second. Great effort from him. We've got F1 Maestro in third behind Calmundo, and then it is Kian Hunter. Those three look reasonably close. Calmundo does seem to have a pretty sizable gap over Maestro, and then we've got Lexbox 1, Hickey, Gorsh Crab, Project 994, Matt Lovett, and then Gestrin Zinker without setting a time, and RBZ joining. So let's see what happens with that. That could be interesting to see him coming around the track. Once again, I'm going to have to pull off at the side at the start of the race, and then let things get underway.
Welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix.
And it's a wet race, full wet race. That is not stormy conditions, I don't think, but that looks like heavy rain definitely to me. So that is going to throw another cat amongst the pigeons, and it'd be interesting to see how this changes things. So there we are, going through the grid once again. I won't read it out because you can see it for yourself, and I've already read it out once. So yeah, here we are on the grid. And I'm not sure how the tyres go around here, but the wet tyres usually last a very long time. So we're looking at definitely a 1 stop, possibly even a 0 stop. But it would have been quite interesting actually if it was a 25% dry race, because the tyres go off really quick here, almost enough for a 2 stop to be viable, but still probably quicker comfortably to do a 1 stop. So I'm just going to get out the way, and then we are going to watch this race. I'm looking forward to it. So here I am. Bam, I'm off to the side. Retire from session. Let's see what is happening here at turn 1. We're on board with RBZ. Massive crash. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. No. Gestrin Zinker leads from second last on the grid, and RBZ with no front wing is in second. That is absolute carnage. So RBZ shunted into the back of a Lotus there. That would have been Matt Lovett. And then we had a separate collision up in front where everyone seems to have been wiped out. So RBZ has lost his front wing, but is in second place. And this is absolute carnage. Minty is in third, I think. So he got taken out from the start. No, he's not in third. He's in last. Minty's race has been ruined. He's got no front wing. We've got a Ferrari with no front wing. We've got Matt Lovett and Gorsh Crab in the gravel now. I have no idea where anyone is. It's absolute carnage. Kian Hunter is fourth, and he's collided with Project 994. Unbelievable. Arte is still in second with no front wing. That shows you the carnage of this first lap, but it does seem like we have Gestrin Zinker miles out in front from second last on the grid. Then Kian Hunter will now take second as RBZ pits. Lexbox 1 is in third. Project 994 seems to have actually been taken out there by Kian Hunter as he went through. And Project 994, yes, has spun. So he is 11th, but he's going to pass a load of cars going into the pits, which includes Tyrone Minty, Matt Lovett, Hickey, and Calmundo in there as well. So 2 of the main drivers have been taken out there and have had to pit. We've got loads of debris. 994 has, well no, that's just lag actually. I don't think anything happened to him there. Gorsh Crab will be happy. He's up into 4th. Gravel, and seems to be involved in a collision. He's actually in a good position here. And Gestrin Zinker out of nowhere now has a massive lead from Kian Hunter. So this will be crazy to see how the field closes up now. Can Minty recover as I said, it might be possible to do the whole race on wets. I really don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. But the wets do last a long time around other tracks. Is it possible for Minty to pull off a recovery drive on no stops to the end from here? We will find out, I guess. Unfortunately, absolute carnage at turn 1, and we can't go back and see it. You might want to scroll back and look at it yourself, to be honest, because not much more is going to be going on here. It's going to be a race of strategy, to be honest. Kian Hunter sits in second, Lexbox 1 in third. I believe then the next closest lot of drivers are the drivers who have all pitted and have no front wing. So we now have Hickey battling with Calmundo for 9th. And then Tiro Minty in 11th. We did see F1 Maestro with no front wing, because obviously Gestrin was out at the front and we saw Fry with no front wing, but I don't know where he's come out in all of this. 11th is last, so where is F1 Maestro? Maestro is 7th, so he is the front runners of the cars who lost their front wing. Oh no, Calmundo is, sorry. Although I swear I just saw Calmundo battling for 9th with Hickey. Okay, I must have read that wrong. It's actually Matt Lovett battling with Hickey, the two Lotuses battling together, and then Tiro Minty behind. Lovett goes down the inside of Hickey and just manages to avoid contact. And he's kind of touched there with Minty. They go side by side down the straight. Can the TRL driver get round the outside? No, he cannot. Lovett has kept the position. A good late braking manoeuvre there. So Minty not making the progress he would have wanted. It is RBZ down in 11th, which is interesting because he was in second, so I don't understand how that's worked. He must have had another moment. Must have, because he was actually in second even though he had no front wing. So he must have had another moment there to be down in that position. We did see Minty down in 11th, so something has happened again to RBZ. Calmundo in complete no man's land now. So is Project 994. So is Gorsh Crab. And then the only battle at the front is Kian Hunter and Lexbox 1. Pretty evenly paced so far. Are they catching up with Zinka is the main question though. And I think they are. I think they are. That looks visibly closer than it did before. And with this being a wet race, we might struggle for time a little bit here for Tier 1. But hopefully we're okay. Xbox. That was just a massive load of lag that we saw there. And they are definitely catching now. That looks really close now. We're going to stay with this camera looking at this at the moment to see how this develops. But Gestrin Zinka, you would have thought he had it in the bag, but he's just obviously not suited to the wet conditions. I know that he doesn't use traction control, and that probably explains it. These drivers might use it. I would have thought they would have. I don't know, but it's just a prediction, and they are catching up with Zinka. Not massively, though. It is pretty clear that they're catching. But Zinka still has a reasonable kind of second gap as Kian Hunter runs it a little bit wide into the grass. We see the top three going through here as close as they've ever been for sure. Zinka still leads at the end of lap 5 now, we're coming up to, with Kian Hunter in second and Lexbox 1 in third. Lexbox 1 looking really close to Kian Hunter here. Can he have a look into turn 1? No, he's going to stay behind. Can he get the slipstream down the straight though and look into turn 2? Seems to have got a reasonable exit. And Kian Hunter does now go a little bit defensive on the run down to turn 2. Lexbox 1 does have a go down the inside. But Kian Hunter has done the braking job. But no, he hasn't, no. He's run it a little bit wide there, although he has managed to get going again. That is a terrible camera angle, we don't want that. So he broke a little bit wide, ran wide, but did seem to get away with it. He's now actually pestering Gesser and Zinka, so he's managed to successfully defend that, and he's now going for the move. We'll try and watch it through here. He's going around the outside. Zinka is holding it just. They're going still side by side. And I think Kian Hunter is going to take that. He has. Can Lexbox 1 get through as well? Yes, he can. And there's been a crash. There has been a crash between the three leaders. I literally did not catch that. But all three of them have collided somehow. In an absolutely... Well, I don't know what happened there. The camera was literally in completely the wrong view there. That is so annoying. But it looked like Kian Hunter had gone through. Lexbox 1 was trying to follow Zinka through. And it seems like Lexbox 1 has managed to gain from it. He hasn't broken his front wing. But Kian Hunter and Gesser and Zinka have definitely lost their front wings because they went miles off the track. So Gorsh Crab is now up to second. And it's going to be Gesser and Zinka. No, Gesser and Zinka does still have a front wing. So he must have, luckily for him, I mean he went into the wall but it must have been backwards. So Project 994 is now 4th, Camando 5th. Kian Hunter did lose his front wing, so he's been the one who's lost out the most there. Unfortunate for him after just taking the lead. He comes out behind F1 Maestro, but ahead still of the trio that were running together of Hickey, who has managed to pull away from Matt Lovett here. In Minty in 11th, RBZ in 9th. So I think Lovett and Minty have had a collision there. And that's why Minty is back down once again into 11th. Can't get a break in this league at the moment. Disqualified at the final corner in Spain. And then disconnecting just before the race in Canada and being taken out a few times. Not sure if this second one was his fault, but the first one definitely wasn't his fault from what I could see. It just seemed like everyone seemed to just run wide and he got taken out by it. So just can't catch a break in this league. Unfortunately, the one battle that we were seeing is kind of ruined because of people having to pit for damage or being spun out. Gorsh Crab now takes the lead as Lexbox 1 must have come in for his first stop. Predicting that's what it is. Gesser and Zinka therefore back into second place. He didn't have great pace, let's be honest, before the collision. I don't think he's going to be able to recover that much. He might be able to beat Gorsh Crab now and grab a podium. Possibly actually second, actually, thinking about it, with everyone else struggling to make that much progress. So yeah, he should still be on for second or third, depending on whether he can beat Gorsh. Camando, broken his front wing on lap 1, but running a pretty solid third at the moment. And we see, I think that is Project 994 behind him. No, it's Lexbox 1 after pitting is only down to 4th. So now on fresh tyres you would expect Lexbox 1 to get a undercut and extend his lead further. Even after the collision he was still a long way clear of Gorsh Crab, showing the pace that those three had over Gorsh. But, I mean, Gorsh Crab wasn't running slowly because all the people who have broken their front wings on lap 1 still miles away from him, so he's still running at a reasonable pace out there at the front. From Maestro's still in no man's land in 6th. Oh no, he's not, sorry, Kian Hunter's right behind him, and Kian Hunter is going to make the move here. He's looking round the outside now, obviously on fresh tyres. Kian Hunter will be able to go to the end, so even though he had that collision, he'll be able to go to the end quite comfortably, I would have thought. Apart from if these tyres wear that badly, but he pitted on lap 7, I think it was, so that should be enough to make it to the end. Maestro, of course, pitting on lap 1, which means his tyres will already be struggling. He might make it to the end, but I really don't know about tyres. Kian Hunter's still behind, though. Maestro seemed to have lost the position when he made a slight error out of turn 1. But Kian Hunter has not been able to get through here. Maestro seems to be sticking to his lines and just not allowing Kian Hunter to really have the chance to go through. And there is Hickey in 8th, making slight gains on the pair. And Kian Hunter's had a big moment there, going into the final corner, but he's managed to recover it. He's still behind Maestro. Oh, Gorshkrab has pitted from the lead, and he's coming up behind Kian Hunter. So he, I mean, Lexbox 1 has got this race pretty much in the bag now, you would say, unless he was at fault with that incident. He will take this race victory, I am sure. But Gorshkrab might struggle here to get second or third with Kian Hunter ahead, but Zinka, I don't get how that's worked out. Zinka was behind Gorshkrab and spun, but Kian Hunter is now ahead of Gorshkrab, so somehow I think Kian Hunter breaking his front wing has actually worked out on him gaining time instead of just spinning, because he's managed to get the undercut now. So I thought it was fortunate for Zinka, but actually he might have missed out on the chance to get a bit of an undercut here and lost time on Kian Hunter, who is now right behind F1 Maestro. He has another big moment going into the final corner. That's really going to struggle to make him be able to fight Maestro here, who has still got this position. I thought it would have been a breeze past Kian Hunter, but he's not really getting much done. Let's go on board, because some of these camera angles are pretty rubbish actually. And that's why unfortunately we missed that big collision. And we do have someone saying, is there any space in this league? Yes, you can join our tier 2 league as a reserve. We do have 16 people signed up, but we never have 16 people actually turning up. So yes, you can sign up to us. If you have Twitter, contact us at the F1 League 11. Okay, back to the racing then. And F1 Maestro is now in third, so someone else has pitted, and that would be... don't know. It would be... not sure. I'm not sure how this order's worked out. But basically Maestro is still holding on to that position over Kian Hunter, doing a sterling job. Can Kian Hunter get the move done is what we're asking. Let's go up to see what's going on then. Calmando has put on the inters. That's an interesting decision. The rain still looks heavy to me. I'm not sure that's a good decision. He was actually recovering quite well. Now on the inters, I don't know how that's going to play out for him. I'm not actually sure who's first and second now. I'm really confused. Project 994 is second, and of course Lexbox 1 is first. So I didn't realise Project 994. I didn't realise Project 994 was. Oh no, actually no, I did. Yeah. And yeah, so that's why Project 994 is in second. I just completely forgot about him because he'd been running completely by himself for the whole time. Maestro still 5 laps on from Kian Hunter pitting. He's still keeping ahead, so a really good job from him at the moment. Kian Hunter just can't get through, and I'm not sure if it's actually really holding him up. I do think that genuinely on pace, Kian Hunter is actually struggling here to keep up with Maestro. He is keeping up, but he looks like he is having to work and put all of his talent, as Ferrari would say, to keep up, which is a pit assist is banned in this league. To the person in the comments, that is the only assist that is banned. So let's see if Maestro can actually hold off Kian Hunter until the end. That is a genuine prospect now with Maestro doing such a good job here. Really don't see where Kian Hunter can get through if Maestro keeps that going. He's doing a really good job at the moment. Matt Lovett is down in 11th. Minty has made the tiniest bit of progress into 10th. Hasn't been a good day for him. I thought he would have recovered. And Calmando has given up. He's given up on the inters and gone back onto the wets. Will he be ahead of Minty? No, he's still ahead of Minty. So, yeah, Minty obviously did have a collision with Matt Lovett, which has stopped him from making any progress in this race. I think he is actually going to make the move here for 9th. But again, you would think that Camendo would be able to repass him on much fresher tyres now. I would assume that Minty pitted about 3 or 4 laps ago. And this guy in the comments doesn't have Twitter. Add me on Xbox, CaseyLegend99. And then we can contact through that. And let's go back to the front now and see. No, Kit Hunter still hasn't got through Maestro, but he has a chance now. He's actually managed to find a gap. He has gone down the inside, and Maestro must have run onto the grass or something there because he's now miles behind. So yeah, Kit Hunter has finally got into third. He's now going to be chasing down Project 994, who still hasn't pitted. As far as I'm aware, no, he hasn't pitted. So he's been caught up by Maestro, who obviously broke his front wing at the start and has like 1 lap fresher tyres. But that does show that Project 994's pace is kind of okay, but not amazing. So maybe this is worth the try to try and get a podium. He's obviously he used to race in Tier 1 and had a pretty tough time in there, let's be honest. He had a pretty tough time. And he's moved down to Tier 2 and he didn't have the greatest of first races. His pace has looked pretty okay through them, but hasn't really got the results. And this one is looking like a strong result here if he can keep it up. Can he keep hold of second? I'm not sure. I would think that Kit Hunter would be able to take him, but a podium is definitely on the cards with Maestro on old tyres. But here we go. Maestro is trying to fight back with Kit Hunter. So yeah, maybe these wet tyres actually have no wear. Maybe I was right in thinking that it could be a zero stop because these two on old tyres are keeping up with Kit Hunter, who was doing well at the front. But Project 994's now run wide, and there's contact between him and Kit Hunter. Maestro goes back through into third. Project 994 running wide and then kind of covering the inside. To be honest, Kit Hunter just ran into the... Oh, contact! What has happened there? That has looked like Kit Hunter has passed Maestro and then just... Well, he's misjudged that, hasn't he? I think, and he's just swiped out Maestro, unfortunately. That is a shame, but to be honest, both incidents there look like Kit Hunter's fault. The first one just looked like he kind of ran into the back of Project 994. And that second one just looks like he swiped him out, unfortunately. That's a bit of a shame there. That has kind of ruined this battle a little bit. We still got the chance, though, to see a battle for second between Kit Hunter and... Oh, Kit Hunter's been disqualified now. For the second week in a row, he's been disqualified. We've got Maestro battling with Gesser and Zinker now for the final podium place. So Maestro, after his spin, is back down with his teammate who had that spin battling at the front. Both with Kit Hunter. Kit Hunter's now been disqualified. So I think that probably takes out any chances there being a steward's inquiry, because I think he's been disqualified for a mixture of corner cutting and possibly those collisions. Gorsh Crab, after pitting, has now gone through on Maestro. Maestro is going backwards. The tyres have finally let out on him, it seems. So he's now down into 5th with Zinker, who has managed to pass Gorsh Crab, and now is going to be chasing down Project 994 to the end. We've got another collision. Gorsh Crab has been caught lapping Matt Lovett, and Maestro has gone through back into 4th place, so he seems to be losing all these places and gaining them back. Can he defend from Gorsh Crab now? 2 laps to go. And Xbox One, even though I'm not even joking, everyone has been involved in the collision this race, but Xbox One, I suppose, has been the least collided driver, and that is why he's going to take a commanding victory in this race. Tyrrell Minty is in 8th with Camendo 7th, so we saw Minty pass Camendo. Camendo's obviously got back through and now pulling away on those fresher tyres. If he hadn't gone on to Inters, Camendo would have a nailed on second here, I'm sure of it. So he's made a strategic mistake there that's cost him big style. We have Gorsh Crab in 5th. Who's 6th? That would be RBZ. He's kind of missed everything that's happened in his race. but after breaking his front wing, but still running second on the first lap, he's now in 6th. And unfortunately, Hickey as well left the session there. Not a good start to his Tier 2 career. Let's see if anything is going out. Let's see what's going on now. Zinka is right behind Project 994, and he's going to make the move. So Zinka has managed to get P2 out of this race, even though he's involved in that collision. He is going to recover to P2 by the looks of it. And it's going to be Project 994 trying to hold on to this podium on the last lap, but no, he's lost it. Okay, we have to go back to this. This is big now. Maestro is back on the podium, unbelievably. After being on the podium through pit stops and everything, he then got kind of wiped out and dropped down, and then got overtaken by 2 cars, and now he's managed to get past back on 2 cars. Ferrari are both on the podium at the moment. Maestro could get a miracle podium out of this. Oh, and Gorsh Crab has collided with Project 994. That confirms the podium from F1 Maestro. It would have been possible for Gorsh Crab to possibly pass Project 994 and be able to catch up, but that's going to hold him up too much now. Project 994 will cross away from this, see where I think Project 994 will still be in 5th, sorry. No, RBZ takes 5th. Xbox One wins by a country mile, and it's going to be then Geston Zinker in 2nd, F1 Maestro 3rd. Gorsh Crab still going to take 4th after... Well, he didn't have a very hectic race, but he pitted. And that was the problem. It seems to me like these people who didn't pit, or who had a collision at the beginning, seem to have done the best out of it. Although, having said that, the first 2 people did actually pit, so... but they were out a long way in the front. Because of the early collisions that they didn't get held up in. They did have that later collision, but I don't think that cost them as much as the start. I'll be honest, that wasn't a great race, to be honest. I'll be honest, to be honest, okay. Much honesty going on here, but that wasn't a great race. Absolute carnage. Pretty exciting race, but not great in terms of driving standards. I will quickly scroll through the race director. So we get this, and just said this is just for penalty removals and penalty putting on for corner cutting and such like. So this is quite important that we do all this. But yeah, that is the race over. A pretty hectic one. Not how I thought it was going to pan out at all. Just shows you what a little bit of rain can bring. So, we'll now go back to the... no. Yeah, there we go. There is the final result. And there we have it. Hope you enjoyed watching this race. We're now going over to Tier 1. And sorry if my voice sounded a little bit weird at the end there. My throat is really hurting for some reason. But thank you very much once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.